everybody. Welcome to another new episode. And it's been a long time, but it's an actual Married at First Sight episode. We are back for season 18, episode 1. I am excited. And today with me, I have Jenn from the Wise and Wine podcast. Hi, Jenn.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I've been listening to you guys for years, and then you were both on my podcast. I got to interview you about your careers, and so I
Yes.
am one of you guys' biggest fan, and I'm excited to be here.
She is not lying. She was like the first person to interview us, and then she guested, and it was so much fun. So I'm really excited to have you here. But the last few years for Jen have been pretty interesting. Do you want to just share with the people what's been going on and what you've been doing?
I absolutely will. So, my husband and I decided in 2022 that we were done kind of doing the same routine at work. And so we sold everything that we own, the house, the cars, everything. And we've been traveling internationally for the last 2 years. And so we finished South America. We're back in Central America now in Costa Rica so that he can do a contract as a scuba dive instructor. So I scuba dive a little bit. I don't want to lift tanks all day and I don't want to work with small children. So that's not my ministry. So while he's doing that, I'm doing freelance work as a writer. I freelance on some projects, project management stuff. And then I work on the podcast. And as you know, podcasting, especially when you don't have a team, is a lot of stinking work. So it takes up a lot.
Yes, it is. It's so funny because, guys, neither of us are in the United States right now. But, this is what we do for the people. Like, I am out of the country right now. Jen is in Costa Rica, but couldn't miss a premiere episode, could we? So,
No, we're here.
we are here. So again, so excited to have you here. A little housekeeping, you guys. Like we mentioned, the season is back, so regular episodes will be dropping on Fridays. After Party is going to be back every Monday on Patreon, so you can join the Patreon. Patreon.com/AltaCall MAFS. So we'll have some bonus episodes over there. And if there's anything else that pops up, it'll be over there. And Love is Blind, the remainder of the episodes that I'm covering with Nana for season 7 will also be on Patreon. Are you watching Love is Blind?
Absolutely. And I know we've got some episodes that are dropping and then they're teasing out this reunion and I am Team Taylor all the way. I want to be besties with her. I absolutely love her. And how these terrible men keep getting past these producers, I do not know. But yes, deep in love is blind.
Well, because they're not checking. They're just, you got it. And I think they're sourcing through Instagram and stuff. So that's not hard to just go past them. So
yeah, but it takes the internet sleuths like 0.2 seconds to find a Facebook post by somebody's mother. And they find it so quickly. I do not know how their team misses all of this, but
Exactly. Season after season. It's one thing if like one season, okay, we didn't check, but then you keep doing it every season. They don't care. That's just the bottom line of it all.
Yeah.
I don't have much MAFS updates, but the biggest news is Lindsay from the Boston season is pregnant. Congratulations to her. Jen is besties with Lindsay.
Well, and I don't even know how that happened. So on my podcast, my brother and I do some episodes where we recap Love is Blind, we recap MAFS. And he was a huge fan of Lindsay's during the Boston season. And so I was like, well, let me reach out to her and see if she would do it. And oddly, she said yes. And so the two of them, if you listen to the episode that we did with her, the two of them just hit it off like gangbusters. And then they started texting and she was supposed to send him like a case of wine and he was going to go visit her. Like they had all this stuff going on in communication. And so my brother found out before Lindsay announced that she was pregnant. She told my brother. And so I was like, what? You've got all this tea? So yes. So congratulations to Lindsay. I think she announced today that they're having a baby boy. But
yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited for her. This was one of those things where we ripped her apart during the whole season. I think after speaking with her, we realized she got a really, really bad edit. And I think that's what we have to remember about these shows is the people that we see and the people that are edited, I mean, there's some people that definitely get. I feel like they are who they are, but Lindsay, we got her so wrong. So if you are in the Lindsay, I hate Lindsay train, go back to listen to that episode. She is so sweet and so kind. I love her to
Oh,
death.
awesome. And it's funny because you said she had a boy. In my mind, I think Emily from the last season sent her a basket and it was all like, congratulations on your baby boy. And then she posted and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, it's a boy.
Yeah.
So Emily didn't out her, but kind of like, it is what it is. So yeah, congratulations to her. And the other news is like, I don't think I said it on the last episode, but I had posted it on Instagram that Dr. Pia is also pregnant.
Yeah.
She announced it also in People magazine, but I think Dr. P she's been engaged for like 8 years or
Yeah,
something.
I feel like they've been got engaged for a good long. I want to say like 8 or 10 years for a minute. So they may just be like a Oprah and Stedman, where you're
Yeah,
like, I know, we ain't going anywhere. It's fine.
yeah, yeah. And I wonder because I was trying to watch like within the season if she was pregnant already whenever they filmed because I'm like, is that why maybe they filmed in her hometown? Because she is from Chicago. I think
Mm.
she lives in Chicago also, but I also don't know how long ago they filmed. So, yeah. So those are the big news that I have. And I think we can just dive into the episode, but I will ask you, what were your thoughts overall about the episode?
It's always, I have these opinions about the couples that are always really superficial at the beginning, and mainly it's because we don't know anything about them. And even if you
Mm-hmm.
watch the matchmaking special, that
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a glimpse into who they are, but you just have no clue about them. So you're making judgments about them that are really superficial.
Yeah.
And I think kind of what we see happens long term in things like Love is Blind is that they don't talk about the deep stuff. They don't talk about the realness. And so
Mm-hmm.
until they move in together, we don't get that deep stuff. So for now, it's just, making kind of snarky comments about what we see so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put that caveat out. Every opinion I have for this episode and on every person is completely judging a book by its cover. I have nothing to go off of. So
Right.
I'm just going by whatever it is they showed us. Did you watch the matchmaking special?
I got through most of it. I got to the part up to EKG. And so it did give some insight into them a little bit more, although I did learn why David lives with his parents. So that was helpful. So the matchmaking specials I usually try to avoid, but this time watching it, I think out of order, gave me a little bit more insight. So if anybody hasn't done it, watch the episode first and then the matchmaking. And I feel like it was a little bit more informational for me.
Wait, I watched the matchmaking special, but why is David living with his parents?
He just chose to. He just, his car's paid
Okay.
off. And why spend money if you don't have to? And his parents don't mind. So he just lives at home because he wants to.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I thought like maybe I missed something. But yes, like usually we don't watch the matchmaking special, but I was like, I'm going to this time. The only thing that really stood out to me is like these people are not about to risk their lives with these experts anymore. Everyone is being very specific about what they
Yes.
want. They're
Yes.
like, I want someone who exclusively dates black people. I want a
Exactly.
light skinned black man. I only date white people. I ain't mad
Yep.
at you.
Exactly. There's none of this like I don't want a bald man. Don't be giving me no bald man. Like hopefully people were super clear about what they want. I want a blonde white woman. He was real clear about that.
Yep. And it was like none of that open because we've seen like even someone like Lauren, we talked about it where before Pastor Cal asked her what her preference was, she was like, I'm a black woman. I'm so proud to be black. It's just a really important thing to me. And then they asked her, are you open? And she's like, yeah, I'm open to dating any race and whatever. And we see how they ended up with Orion. So
Mm,
these people are like, yeah, we're going to be really specific. But I think the other thing also is at the end of the day, we're all still human beings and everyone thinks like they're self actualized and they think they know enough about themselves. But I always refer to Monet from season one, who
love
said
it.
she wanted a traditional man. And when
Mhm.
she got Vaughn, she was just like, yeah, I don't think that's what I wanted because that's what you saw. You have it in reality, it's not the same. And we see that with guys, I apologize. Michelle and Jen is going to help me. And Madison, I'm
Yes.
still getting them confused. But one of them, the one with Alan. Okay, Madison mentioned on After Party something about humor was very important to her, and she
Yes.
doesn't think she emphasized that enough. But I'm sure she didn't really think that was something that was so important. But just going through the process and getting that gift, she realized, oh my God, this is something that is top priority for me. But she didn't know that it was that important until, that happened. So
Right. And I think that's what people are going to find in the process. Like, people are going to say, I want somebody that's funny, but then you get somebody that only tells jokes 24/7, and you're like, stop telling jokes. Shut up.
exactly. You end up with someone like what's his name? Tim from Love is Blind.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just doesn't know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps going. All
Exactly.
right. So we'll dive into the episode, and they started with Michelle and David. Michelle is 38. The one thing that was missing this episode is they always give them these titles like the romantics, the unemployed sweetheart, or whatever, which I always look forward to. They're cheesy, but I like them, and they took that out, and that made me sad. But she's been single for 6 years, and she's blonde and blue eyed. So she's matched with David, who told us that that is what he likes.
Mm-hmm.
He is half Puerto Rican, or is he full Puerto Rican?
I think he's
Not
half,
really
because
sure.
there was the little old grandma lady Rita who seemed to
Yeah.
be not Puerto Rican. So I'm guessing he's not 100% Puerto Rican.
Okay. And he said that the blue eyes do something to him, and that's what he dates. Michelle, on the other hand, said she likes light skinned black men. She likes tats. Later on, her friend said man buns. David has these things, but I don't know if he can put his hair in a man bun, but it's a lot of hair.
I think he can put it, actually, and I made the same note when her friend said, "Oh, you want somebody with a man bun?" I think he's got that big curly mop, and I feel
Yeah.
like at the wedding, we got a preview of the wedding that he does have it back, so I think he can put it back.
Yeah. Okay. And Michelle kind of reminds me of Ashley Petta from the Chicago season
Mm.
5. I want to say, I'm not sure, but she reminds me of her just with a nose ring, I think. Um, so physically, I think they got it right, which I am a proponent of because I'm like, give them a chance. Once they think you're attractive, they're more willing to try, and you get off on a good start. And the only red flaggy thing I got when she was with her friends was she said she has to remind herself not to be judgy.
Yes, I got that too.
And I don't know, this whole living with your parents thing is judgy material. And
I mean, if she's going to take a page out of Hannah's book from Love is Blind, that's going to be a huge problem.
that is going to be a problem. So I don't know. I am wary of David. I have nothing. I have no facts. It's just something about him that is just making me just side eye a little bit.
Yeah, he seems very unserious. I think even on the matchmaking special, Dr. Cal asked him, like, are you okay with having kids? Do you want kids? And he's like, I'm okay without kids. I don't not want them. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? Is that an answer? Like, what is
Yeah.
it? And then the whole thing about living with your parents, it's like, yeah, I mean, I live here because I don't have to. So I just feel like for marriage and for you to blend your life with somebody who has been fiercely, and in Michelle's intro said independent no less than 3 times. Like, when somebody tells you this often that they're independent and you are very much not, I don't know. I think his being not super focused is going to be an issue for them.
He's giving me man-child vibes.
Yes.
Like, listen, nothing against living with your parents, but he doesn't seem to have a solid reason. And if you claim that you're ready for marriage, I stand on it that you should at least know what it's like to maintain a home and live by yourself. I don't know if he's lived by himself before this, but why would you decide to go from your parents' basement to getting married? Why not give yourself a 1 year period to, like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm paying these bills, I'm doing that, because now you're going to go from not paying bills straight into being part of a family with your wife and dealing with all of that, and that just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
And when they asked his parents, do you think he's ready for marriage, the pause was too long for me.
Well, and even his dad said when Pastor Paul asked if he wanted to have kids, and his dad's like, I don't even know that. Like, how do you, as his parent, who he lives with, have no
Yeah.
discussion and conversation and knowledge about what this man wants out of life. So I worry about him long term living up to Michelle's very, I'm focused on my career, I'm independent, I do what I have to do. And if her friend already says she's judgy, there's three things right there we're going to judge him on: his hair, living with his parents, not being focused. So no.
I know. I'm all for happy go lucky, but sometimes like there's just a limit to it. Like especially again if you're trying to add somebody into your life. But he's a nominee. So I don't know if you guys know. And again, I don't know if they're just hyping it up. But they've been teasing that this season there's gonna be like some kind of couple swap and cheating scenario or something. And I'm actually surprised that it took the American season this long to get there, like since they started adding multiple couples. But now we're all on the lookout, like who could it be? Who's the person that's gonna cheat? And David is just on my list. And again, I could eat my words, happy to, but he's just on my list because he just seems like the latest crop of reality people where if I find love, great. And then like it's a nice experience. But if
Mhm.
it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world, and they're just kind of winging it. While some people are coming in here like, "This is my life. I need to find love, or the world is ending." So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he giving you, without a lot of direction? Is he giving you a little bit of Mitch from San Diego, which is like, it's fine?
Honestly, a tad better than Mitch. I mean, Mitch had his own place, but it was disgusting. So maybe he should have
Yes.
lived with his parents. So I don't know. Oh, anything else you had in this particular intro package? Which, by the way, they were moving pretty quick. I appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. None of this like let's not spend too much time, because I know that you don't like it and I don't like it when they spend too much time with the family and friends and doing the reveal of like, what, you're going to be on TV? Yeah, there's cameras right here. You know what's happening. I like that they cut that down this time.
Yes. So we move on to Ikechi and MM, which I've been so excited about because those are Nigerian names and I recognize them. But I will say, even the matchmaking special and everything, MM has been very open about being Nigerian. Ikechi hasn't. So I'm wondering if he
Mm.
just has a Nigerian name and isn't Nigerian. But the most interesting thing, I don't know if it's interesting, but a standout is that Ikechi tried out for MAFS Houston and wasn't picked. Is that a red flag or not a big deal to you, Jen?
That is a giant red flag to me, especially after Mac and Dom from Nashville, where Mac didn't he move somewhere? He moved to Nashville from somewhere else because he had tried to be on a different season and he didn't get picked. So he moved to Nashville and get picked, and it ended up being a hot mess. I really liked him. And is it EKG? I wrote it down,
Oh,
EKG.
Ikechi.
KG, thank you.
Yes.
So I really, really liked him because in terms of career, he does a very similar career to me in terms of academic advising and college counseling. So I was with him until he said, "Oh, this is my second chance," and I was like, "Record scratch, what?" So I don't know. I don't know.
So when they announced the couples on Mass Fan did like a long time ago, someone was in the comments saying like this man is from Houston. And I'm from Houston and I was like, this cannot be good because the dating pool there is just mm-mm. So that's how I felt. But then I saw him and I don't know if I should be scared of him or if I should trust in him because he seems like he's the right package. But then I'm like, okay, something is wrong, and what is the thing that is wrong? Because he's fine too, in my opinion.
Yes, yes.
He's fine, and
Yeah.
but he's 41.
Yeah, and I wondered too, and maybe MM is first generation Nigerian. Maybe he's not,
Yes.
which is maybe that's why he's not as like I'm talking about it as often as she does. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I think he's the full package, but also he's had time to practice this. If he's gone through the process once already, he knows what works and doesn't work. He has a cheat code, so I don't know. I'm really nervous about him.
Oh no, I want them to work so bad, especially for her. I don't want to call her desperate, but she wants this really badly.
Yeah. but I feel like she prepared for it. She wants it badly, but I think it in a good way. I think in a way that I've prepared my life. I've set up my life so that I can be a good partner for somebody else. Like I'm not doing this because I need my partner to fill some void or cure some past ill, which we'll talk about with another couple. Like you're not here to fix my trauma. Like I want you as a partner and I want somebody that's going to fit. So I think if he's on the up and up. Like he said, he wants somebody that's a mix between Kelly Rowland and Michelle Obama, which I think she is. So as long as he means that, and he doesn't really mean I want Kelly Rowland and Michelle Obama in the body of a white blonde woman, I think we're okay.
Well, he said he wanted slim thick, and I really was just trying to see a full body thing of MM to see if she's slim thick. She looked just slim to me, so I'm just
Yeah.
hoping he's not like a nitpicky kind of person. Because
Right.
if he's going the Kelly Rowland Michelle Obama thing, like you said, yes, they nailed it.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a case of he doesn't know what he wants, but but
Mhm.
yeah, when he announced to his friends that he was going to get married, at an axe throwing place, and I'm like, if I never saw an axe throwing thing on a reality show again, it couldn't come fast enough. Like I'm tired of seeing people throw axes.
I'm going to blame that on the pandemic because I think, I was living in Texas as you were, and Texas did not care about the pandemic for a long time. And so there was just stuff to do. Like we needed to get out of the house. And I feel like the axe throwing thing got really big. And I have to admit, I probably went to more axe throwing. There's probably 3 places in Austin that we went to just because it's something that you can do. You can get out your aggression. It's cheap. You can drink while you're doing it. And it just worked. So I don't recommend it. I'm kind of over it now, but I could see for a man without a ton of creativity why this would be a fun place to go.
Did you catch that when he was playing his little Casio or whatever, he already had a ring, a wedding
I've
band?
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that on a couple of the guys, and I don't know if it's men just are wearing rings now, and I just am being more attentive to it. I think maybe David had a ring. I saw more than one man had rings on, and sometimes with the TV they film, and what we see is the reverse. So I'm not sure if that was
Mm-hmm.
on their right hand, but yeah, I did notice more guys than normal had rings on.
Ah, okay. I only noticed it on EKG. There was something that you said earlier where you said MM had like she was ready for her life, like ready for this,
Mhm.
prepared for it. I think that's something that I noticed this season where one, they're all older. I think the
Yes.
youngest person is Madison, who's 29. And everybody else seems to give the vibe of I want someone to add to my life, not necessarily to complete me. They all seem successful. They all seem to have their career. I don't know about what does David do now that I think about it.
Good question. And I had to go back and look. And he said on the matchmaking special that he has 2 jobs, but he never refers to what those 2 jobs are. So I'm going to guess it's not like a traditional job like the rest of these has. It's not a nurse practitioner like Eminem. It's not an academic advisor. It's not banking. It's something out of the box because nobody talked about it.
Yeah, okay. It just occurred to me. I was like, what did okay. Well, except David, but they all seem to have their stuff together. His friends did say that he needs a fellow homebody that's still fun. And Emmett just seems to be fun. Like
Yes.
she seems to have like a lot of energy. She
Yeah.
says she's ready to my man, us to death.
Mhm.
So I want them to work out, but I'm on the fence on if this is still a good match.
I think, and again, the matchmaker special, they did a good job of saying, look, these are the things they have in common. Like we like that they both like to volunteer, they both like to travel. She wants to go on really creative dates. So I think if he has 600 jobs. Like when we first met him, he talked about being a creator and he does music and it looked like he's a DJ and he's a high school band director. Like he has all this stuff going on. So I guess I need some clarity from him what he means by a homebody, because if that doesn't mean we're just going to sit at home and watch, Living Single
Yeah.
at night, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, he did say he's willing, like somebody that can draw him out.
Hmm.
and bring him out of that. So um, there's that. Well, I think my concern is that MM is the kind of person that's like Shawnee's. It doesn't matter who's at the end of the altar; she's gonna be fine with whoever it is. Like she's just gonna make it work, and she's just committed. And as long as Ikechi is attracted to her, I think they stand a chance.
And it seems like they gave him exactly what he asked for. So if he is not attracted to her, it's going to be weird. It's going to be something like the second toe on her foot is longer than her big toe. It's going to be something weird and nitpicky like that.
Oh man, I don't like the preview where he's saying, "Do you think this is a healthy relationship?" And I'm like, I hope you're not asking about your relationship and you're giving
Yeah,
advice to somebody else because, guys, we need a success. We need a
we
successful relationship.
do. And we need a good, strong, I feel like the successful, strong Black relationships, we've got a pretty good track record of this. So,
So we move on to Alan and Madison.
oh my,
So
oh my,
I don't even know what to start with that.
oh my.
Listen, looks aren't everything.
On this show, it helps.
I don't know how else to say. Listen, okay, I've said listen so many times. I should just say Alan is 35, Madison is 29. Alan is not bad looking, but okay, how do I say this? When I watch reality shows and I watch the Brits, if there are any Brits listening to me, please don't be mad at me. I'm always taken aback because in America, when people go to reality shows, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be celebrities. They spend all this money. They go do all the things to make sure they're ready to look good on TV. When I watch British reality shows, it's a come as you are situation sometimes. Not Love Island. I know everyone's going to use that as an example, but for like most of the other reality shows, everyone comes as they are. And I feel like Alan came as he was to
Yeah.
the show. Like, we could have done a teeth whitening or something. I don't know, just
Thank
me.
you.
But, but so yeah, so he could have done that, and it is okay. It is what it is. My only hope is again that Madison is not focused on looks, even though that's not the vibe we're getting
Uh,
from her.
I don't think you invest as much time and energy into working out 5 days a week, into consuming protein shakes, into installing that many extensions if looks aren't important to you.
Oh boy, I think this is my biggest thing with Alan is just he's giving me Brennan vibes. I've said it and I say it again. At the matchmaking, once you tell someone that you have been matched with someone and you are not excited enough, automatic disqualification. That's just how I feel. Because then that means you thought, oh, I'll just go through this process. They're never going to pick me. And then now they've picked you and you're like, oh shit, what is going on? I just feel he wasn't excited enough when he was told that he was matched. And I'm like, I'm gonna need you. You went through this whole rigorous process, and you're just like, yeah, I am. Okay. And then that's it. But again, we're just judging by its cover. This man could be the best thing ever. And we're right here. Look at Doug. Longest marriage. I'm not compared.
But I love Doug. I thought, but I mean, I'm a personality girl. So for me, Doug had so much. He was just sweet and kind and patient, and he did so much to invest in that relationship that he grew on me. And so I thought maybe Alan, I was trying to find ways that Alan could be that guy. Like, how could he grow on Madison? And then he said something about listening to thuggish, ruggish music, and I was like, nope,
Oh boy.
I'm out. I'm out.
But why didn't they do him a favor and not just take that out? Why did they keep that in?
So that we could talk about it on podcasts. That's why.
The other thing is like he seems to be a mama's boy. I don't know yet if it's a negative because when his mom tried to say you're leaving me, he talked her down. But the problem is he wants to recreate the family dynamic that he never saw, and that is usually a red flag for me.
Yeah, I think, and it was the way he talked about his dad, and then when his dad appeared, that's not what I had in mind in terms of his dad. And it seems like he is super close to his mom. And I think when he was talking about growing up, he talked about his dad. He didn't really say much about his dad, but he talked about how his mom was always struggling, and I thought that was weird.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know, that maybe that's why he's a little bit more, his mom's a little bit more attached, because there seemed to be some imbalance after the divorce.
Okay. And I think maybe to clarify, when I mean like recreating the family dynamic he never saw, it reminds me of like a Tyler where he's like, oh, he didn't have the full family thing, so he just wants a family. Tyler from Love is Blind, to clarify. And he just wants a family to make up for what he didn't have as a child. But maybe I'm not reading it right. And maybe what Alan means is like he knows what he doesn't want and wants to recreate a better childhood than he had.
Yeah, I get that makes
Yeah.
sense. And but again, without him, the only thing I know about him is that he buys $1,000 shoes and he wears caftans, and I feel like he's that nerd in that group of cool dudes. But maybe he's the one where, oh, you can pay for us to get into VIP, so you can come with us. Like that's the feeling that I get from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, Alan could absolutely just surprise us because he's also the kind of person that maybe like he's eccentric and he's different, but he doesn't care, and he's just gonna be him, and you just get to appreciate it. And she might appreciate it because she's described as the most outgoing extrovert. So
Yeah,
for now, because we don't know anything about them, they look like they're a bad match externally, but you know, it could work out.
yeah. I
She said
feel like
she's
in that,
done the work.
yeah, and I feel like because I think he had a parent that was kind of absent, or am I mixing them up? And he had a parent that was kind of absent, so maybe
Yeah,
that. Then also having um, some other I don't know. Maybe if she can get past the looks, because he can. I mean, he kind of fit what she looked for. She said she wanted somebody that was tall and had a baby face, but she also said athletic. So I don't know what I can guess what athletic means to her by looking at her. And so if she can look past some of those things, and if he can be that sweetness that she needs and be that extrovert, which I think he can,
yeah.
I think they'll be okay. If she's attracted to him, I think they'll be okay.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We could all probably be projecting because we're just shallow people. And she could see him and be like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing. But that connecting beard was just not working for me. Like, separated. Separated. Um, she did give us the usual workout montage. I don't think it was as aggressive as it has been in previous season, but she's also one of those people. She does like to travel, but she really does like to travel because she actually has an airplane tatted on her arm. I
Yes,
don't know
I
if you
did.
saw that. So
I did see that. I did see that. And I was like, all right,
yeah,
you travel. But she's also that girl that when you travel, though, I feel like when she gets ready, well, first of all, she's going to want to work out, so you can't do any of your activities super early because she's going to want to fit a workout in, and then it's
yeah.
going to take her, she's got to match her bikini to her shoes and her hat, and so she might be a travel girl, but she's not a quick travel girl.
Well, we are going to find out at the honeymoon. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with EarnIn. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the EarnIn app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Whether it's a special gift for a loved one or needing help early with rent this month, make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join EarnIn's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about EarnIn, I think about financial stability and security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download EarnIn today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the EarnIn app, type in AltaCall under podcast. When you sign up, it'll really help the show. That's also called under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, location, daily max, and pay period max, see earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. If you're looking to try something new to achieve your weight loss goals, try Mochi Health. Mochi Health takes a holistic approach to weight loss that includes visits with board certified doctors, nutrition consultations, and medication delivered to your door. With Mochi, their dietitians work hand in hand with your medication to create personalized nutrition plans that fit your lifestyle. Reach your weight loss goals with science backed FDA approved GLP-1 medications, support from real doctors, and guidance from registered dietitians that help with making easy and sustainable changes to achieve results. You can get started at joinmochi.com. That's JOINMOCHI.com. And be sure to use the code ALTACALLMAFS, ALTARCALLMAFS, to receive $40 off.
Yes.
What that's going to look like. Their segment was kind of interesting because I actually rewound to see if I missed something because they went straight to the suit shopping and the dress shopping. And Madison was in her wedding dress for a really long time, giving some speech and talking about the wedding. And then I realized that that is how it's going to be for each of them. They're just standing there with the dress and a glass of champagne. I'm like, are they not nervous? Like something might spill on something. I couldn't help but note that her last words were like, I just feel like if he has my back, I just don't see how it can fail. And that just sounded ominous to me.
A little bit. It's kind of like we'll get to Camille with the number of times she started talking about love bombing. It's like, all right, you've got some stuff you need to work out.
All right. Juan and Carla.
Oh, yo.
I'm laughing because Carla was on Juan, an after party. Like, that's a
Yes.
personality right there.
Yes.
Juan is 36 and looks like a Disney prince, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The jawline of a Disney prince. And Carla is 34. Carla is like a free spirit, like looks like she's just straight vibes. But in her own words, and I quote, she's an alien who manifests and loves love. So I just know she's gonna give us a lot this season. She's Mexican, and Juan is from Colombia, and Juan is very into dancing. Like it's really important to Juan.
Yes. Yes. Which Colombia is one of the countries that we traveled to. And
Mhm.
I will say that that's Colombians are dancing 24/7. That club will open at 8 p.m. and not close until 6 a.m. So Colombians are dancers. I get that.
Okay. So yeah, so there's really they seem like a match from outside. He was very specific about wanting someone who understands his culture. So I think they did well on that. They're both very attractive. Um, her wedding dress was also simple. I feel like this so far the wedding dresses we've seen have been simple with both of them. But my only thing with Juan was that he called himself intricate.
I'm going to chalk that up to a language barrier. I didn't hate
Okay.
it. I didn't hate
I thought he was trying to say, like, listen, I'm a complicated man, and sometimes when a man tells you who they are, believe them.
it.
So that was that was how I was picking up. But again, we have what like 6 more months of this show to find out who these people are. So
Mhm.
it's coming. Did you have any other thoughts on Warren and Carla?
I mean, number one, from the season that I think when I was introduced to you was when we had the season with Gil and Mirla, and
Oh
so
dear.
you know I have a soft spot for good looking Colombian men, and I am in love with Juan, and Juan can do no wrong for me at this point. He is a Disney character. He is, yes, I just love him so much. And I can see him doing no wrong. And I like that even when they went to uh, when he met all the guys, he had the bienvenidos with the Colombian flag
Yeah.
on it. So this is like somebody who is deeply supportive and loving and deeply entrenched in his Colombian culture. And I am for it. I love him so much. So please don't
Oh,
disappoint me, Juan.
okay, Jen. I will tell you though, I don't understand how myself and A just ended up on not the wrong side of history with Gil. Like I cannot see it till today. I saw him in one of the montages or whatever that they did, and I was looking at it, and I was like, why can't I see what everybody else sees?
Oh, I mean, something about, I can't. I guess I have a thing for Colombian men, which is probably not something I should tell with my husband sitting right here. But Carla to me was like if those live, laugh, love signs were a person.
Yeah.
And it's too much. Like, I feel like what I got from her is that she's very aware of the camera. She's very aware that she's going to be setting up some influencer thing after this because everything was just I flow and da, 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 da. And then on after party when Keisha said something about would you have strippers, and she was like, oh, I would not have strippers unless they were women. And I was like, okay, it's you're trying too hard to be provocative, you're trying too hard to
Yeah.
get the attention towards you, and I don't know if there's authenticity of it. The only times where I felt where she was truly authentic was when she was interacting with her family. Otherwise,
Mm.
she's just a walking influencer, and I'm not here for it.
You don't watch the Housewives show, but she reminds me so much of Brynn from The Real Housewives of New York.
Mm.
Very cutesy, very aware, very wink in the camera, catch my drift
Yes.
type thing.
Yes.
So
Yes, very much.
I'm just, this is why at the beginning episodes, I'm so impatient. I just want to know who these people are and let's just unravel you and see what you
Right.
really are about. Okay, so we move to Camille and Thomas. Camille is 32. Thomas is 42. Thomas is a twin. Like, he's a twin. Like, you can tell them apart, but they're identical. And the reason I say this, guys, is for the longest time, twins used to freak me out. Like, I just used to look at them, especially identical ones, and I'm like, you are one person split in two. Why is no one else freaked out?
You have the same face. What's happening?
I got over it, I think, but Thomas brought it back for me, and I was just like, and then they talk the same way, they even have the same mouth thing, and I was just like, oh my god, they are real twins. But Thomas seems great. Like, I don't like the same way he's the same age as Ikechi, and Ikechi I'm kind of like, but Thomas I'm not getting that from him. But also Thomas looks so familiar. I'm like, do I know him from somewhere? But I don't think so, but I don't know why he looks so familiar to me.
Maybe because there's two of them and you see double.
Thomas says that he wants someone to do things with, and his brother is with him all the way because in the matchmaking special, Pastor Cal had called him on FaceTime and talked about him, and he was like, he's a great guy, he's good, and he like nothing bad, to say about him. Like, at the same time, I didn't have much on him because he just seems good, and I completely put my trust in Thomas. Please don't fail me, Thomas.
Well, I did know there's a 10-year age difference between him and Camille, so I don't know
Yes.
if that's going to be a thing. Like, I don't know if him being 42 is not the issue. Him being 42 and having his clothes coordinated by type and ties coordinated by pattern is a thing. Like, I worry if he's too set in his ways and that he's just kind of looking for a plug and play wife. Like, here, you fit into my life. And he's not going to be flexible in terms of the thing that she wants and needs. So that's my only concern with him. It's just, I know they said that he's the nice twin. But I'm worried at 42 how flexible he's going to be into bringing somebody else into his life. I really, that's the only thing that makes me nervous about those two.
I think that's valid. I think the only thing that might be helpful is Camille seems to have had a very terrible dating history that she might be able to focus on, like, oh, even though he might be a little set in ways, if he's kind to me, if he accepts me or whatever, I might be able to overlook that because at the end of the day, I have someone who at their core is a nice person and is a kind person. So that might help a little bit. But again, we don't know.
No.
We don't know anything about these people.
No, the experts all said in matchmaking that they were charmed by her, that it was one of those rare instances where they all agreed on her. So I think, and she kind of, I'm not going to say she's an old soul, but she's definitely mature for
Yeah.
32. I think the love bombing thing, again, she mentioned that her concern was she'd been love bombed so many times. And so I don't know if Thomas is going to be that guy. Like I noted when they got married, they didn't like hold hands or anything. So maybe he's not going to be that overly love bombing guy. But but she also said she's a hopeless romantic. So is he going to be the, what's that line between hopeless romantic and love bombing? And I don't know
Yeah.
is going to be able to be that line. I feel like he's that guy that she's going to have to be like, hey, buy me flowers. And he's like, okay. I don't
Yeah.
know if he'll get it on his own.
Yeah. He seemed like he'll be chill, like the kind that has to learn how to love her in her own way. But yeah. I think like so there's something the experts do every year where I feel like sometimes they match people on one commonality. So for Camille and Thomas, it's because they're biracial,
Mhm.
and that was the reason that they gave. And then with who was it? Alan and Madison, I think the family dynamic
Yeah.
that they both shared, and sometimes it could be a dangerous thing when they decide like there's just one thing. Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, what do Camille and Thomas have in common
Right. And that's
besides?
right. Yeah, because if we have a similar family trauma, like sometimes we can bond on that because we've been through similar things, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that means the stuff that you do triggers my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then
so, yeah, I don't know.
yeah, and beyond that, what do we have in common? So
Yeah.
again, we'll find out. All right, so the couples all meet for the first time. Not couples, like the boys meet the boys, the girls meet the girls. And I was confused. Like, what is this supposed to be? It's daytime, it's a bowling alley. Why do their friends need to be with them as they meet them? And slowly I found out that they are not having a bachelorette this season. We don't even get a reason why, not even an after party. But I wonder why that didn't happen this year.
I feel like that gets them in trouble a lot, at least the men. It gets them in trouble with that bachelor party, or even from Denver with what was Crazy Pants' name? The blonde girl.
Emily?
Emily, yes, like that got her in trouble a little bit in terms of like, oh, you took this seriously. Okay. So I think maybe they're paring back some of that stuff, some of those early signs, because yeah, ooh, that was
They
rough.
should have just left it. That's not fair to them. Because I was so confused. Because then I was like, if it's just a meetup, again, why do they have their friends? But also, if it is the replacement for the bachelor, why are some of the brides wearing white to a bowling alley? And
Yeah.
the dress code was so off because was also wearing like a long sleeve, like maybe I just left work and I just came and I was like, what is happening right now? But it is what it is. I will say, given what I just shared with you guys about twins, Thomas said he's married to a twin and he wanted Thomas's brother, his name is Tim, I think, said that he's married to a twin and he wanted Thomas to marry her sister. And I'm like, okay, that's like taking over the top creepy level for me. Like I would just run out the room.
Yeah. Thomas is like, oh, it's just not a fit. I was like, I mean, I guess it keeps your Christmases really streamlined if everybody just marries everybody and you've got one family tree. I guess that works, I guess.
Ugh, oh Lord. Um so the ladies meet up and they're talking, and then and the men also meet up, and then Ikechi says that he's been writing letters for the last 6 years to his wife, but it's a no-name person. Creepy or romantic?
If it was from anybody else, it would be romantic. But because he's been through this process before, I feel like everything he does is very staged and very performative and very, I'm doing this to move forward in the process, whether that means he's doing it for cameras or whether he's doing it for his future wife to look good. I don't know. I feel bad because I really like him. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really nervous about the things he does that seem too perfect.
You know what? As we talked about this, I just thought about Zach. Remember when Zach and his label was, this is from Houston season? He was the Renaissance man. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I play piano. Oh, I'm in touch with this side. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm romantic. And we know how that turned out. So
I'm a cheater pants. My bad.
So, yeah. So the ladies, of course, they all talk about sex and what is your favorite position. Um, Carla is like any which way on top, flip it, flop it. Everyone's talking. Madison, I think, is the one that's like on the counter and goes on top of the counter. I'm not
Yes.
wearing underwear and I'm on the counter with no Spanx. And I'm like, and they gave her Alan, who seems so buttoned up, but okay.
But I think Alan's going to like that though, because again, we're also talking Mr. I have a caftan. I think he's going to like that. I think he's going to vibe with her extra extrovertedness because I think he's that as well. So I think as long as she's attracted to him, I think they'll be okay.
I mean, I hope you're right because while she's doing all that, he's all there and he's like, I'm respectful. I'm not giving any details. I'm not saying anything. So I don't know.
I don't think he meant that.
I don't know if they're lying. The men are also talking about sex, and this might be a double standard. Like, I wasn't like yucked out by the women talking about it, but the men talking about shaved or not shaved, these are men in their 40s. So when you sit there in a group and just like, oh, shaved and not shaved. Oh, I like it waxed. Oh, I like a strip. I'm just like, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it could be producer driven. I don't know, but it was just something yucky about that for me.
Yeah, it was a little. It's a little TMI. Like I think if they knew each other better, like if you're having this conversation with a really good friend, okay,
Yes.
cool. I could see how that would happen between guys, but I just can't imagine with some guy I just met 5 minutes ago that I want to know about his preferences. But at the end of the day, as long as they're attracted to the women, I mean, they're gonna take it however they can get it. So shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
It was cute when all the ladies were going and they did that. It's kind of like a nod to that Beyonce. I'm good to see my husband. I'm happy. And I did, even though now I know that is the one who maybe spearheaded it because she's going to do that next week when she's getting married too. So, but yeah, it was cute. Again, I can't read the chemistry of the cast yet, so I don't know.
I worry about Michelle though, because she was the only one that didn't really participate, and we don't know if that got cut out or not. But she was the one that didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
Like I think Madison alluded to some stuff, and then she jumped on the counter. I'm like, oh, she's okay with this. But then Michelle seemed really reserved, and that she didn't want to talk about that. So I don't know where that lands. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I had a note where I'm just like, everyone is aligning because they were showing what the woman said and then their fiance said on the other side, but David and Michelle were not on the same page, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're into our first wedding. No time. Episode 1, we got a wedding. 2 seasons in a row.
I love it.
Yes, we do. And that is Camille and Thomas. I don't know if it means anything that they're the first to go, but hey, not complaining. Um, it's so crazy that people have 17 seasons of this show ahead of them and still be excited to get married to the point of saying, I can't wait to get married to my forever man. And say it with such confidence that I mean, I applaud them, honestly. But when I see the stats, I'm going to just be like, I hope this works out. But I'm not going to say, oh, this is my forever man. But good on Camille for saying that. I want to point out that the person who is doing the hair for Camille this season, I don't know if it's going to be the same for everyone. But for Camille, this person was smart. They got their smock. They put by Natiza on there. So if you're in Chicago and you want to check them out, and I'm like, good on you, lady. Everybody's gonna know who's doing the hair. We don't have to ask.
and I followed her. I did note that. I was like, that is smart marketing. And so I started following her on Instagram. And so she's got some posts up about the show and that kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, get your coins, girl. Market.
You
Go.
see that? See that? It worked. It worked. So everyone's having their moment. Camille's friends and family come by. The same with Thomas, and him and his twin brother have a moment about their dad and him being proud of them. They get all teary eyed because apparently like his dad passed away. They didn't give much details on how long ago it's been, but Thomas is being hard on himself that he kind of failed him in a way because he was overthinking things and he just didn't pull the trigger and get married. And that's just such a burden to bear that I'm just like, it's okay. But they tell him
Mhm.
that their dad is around and it's fine. His mom comes in and he gives his mom a picture of his dad to walk down the aisle with her. She also gets choked up and she tells him, just be as good a husband as your dad was. And I'm still basking, Jen. I'm like, this moment is so sweet. Some woman walks in and the Karen is like Thomas's birth mother. I'm like, huh?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Throw it, nothing like kinetic loves more than throwing, oil on a fire, whatever the expression is. But
Like, what a setup. Like, the production choice could have been, back when he was going on about his background, how he's biracial, and he's like, he could have been like, my brother and I were adopted when we were X years old, so growing up, nothing. They just threw that to us unexpectedly. So it took me a while to adjust, but then I just had so many questions that doesn't look like it's going to be answered.
yeah. And I don't know if they did it in the matchmaking special, but at some point he did mention that they were adopted by a family. The family had kids, and then I don't know if it was his mom or somebody had two more kids after that. So his whole family dynamic is so chaotic. And I was wondering too if earlier when we were talking about maybe this is why people were matched, because her family, Camille's family, seems to
Yeah.
be very close, and you're not just marrying her, you're marrying her whole family. So maybe that family dynamic is what
Yeah.
they found as common between the two of them. But yeah, there was so much chaos going on between how many kids there are and who fit and where, and to have this woman come in and she thanked the mom that raised them, and the mom that raised them was like, all right, cool. We're shutting this down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, he mentioned that he'd only known her for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Chaos.
yeah. I hope we get more. You can't just drop that on us and that's it. But it is nice to say, I will say, that his birth mom, his adopted mom, they seem to have like a good and respectful relationship. Like even his mom, well, yeah, his adopted mom, he's just like, thanks, mom. That's his like who he acknowledges as his mom. And it was just really nice to see like just a healthy relationship among all of them.
Yeah, for a change, yeah.
So it's time to walk down the aisle. I will say this. Camille looks absolutely gorgeous. The makeup artist did the damn thing, but I did not like her dress at all.
I kept thinking that. I kept thinking like I wanted it to be poofier or something. Like the way that it just fell straight down, I didn't like, and the fact that you could see through when she walked down the aisle. Like I'm like, oh, I can see your legs. I don't know. There was something was missing. She's beautiful. Her hair was beautiful. Her face, her
Yeah.
makeup was for the gods, but there was something about her dress that was missing. And I think I'm done with the whole see-through boob thing at this point. So, but yeah, it needed something. Maybe I just needed it to be puffier. I don't know. But I have the same feeling you did.
I didn't need it to be puffy. Like I said, I think this season they all went simple. My issue with it was the flesh colored whatever it was underneath. It just kind of brought it down a notch for me and just kind of not cheapened it, but it just made it not look as pretty as it could have been. But who knows? Maybe there's limited supply in Chicago. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But walking down the aisle, all of a sudden she's freaking out. She's like, what am I doing? This has all hit me, that this is reality. And quite frankly, this is a normal reaction. Like, who the hell goes and gets married to someone they've never met, before? So she's walking out. The producer is like, is she running away? Then she's like, why would you go through this whole process and suddenly just walk out now? I'm like, yeah, because now it's actually real. So Camille is like, it feels insane, like to just do this. And she asks for water and they give her water. And all I'm thinking is her lipstick, give her a straw.
The important details. I love that you're paying attention to those things.
I mean, the makeup was beautiful. So I'm just like, don't ruin it because we know she's going to get married. So her sister talks her off the ledge and they tell each other, like it's going to be okay. You've done this. You deserve this. And finally, she's walking down the aisle and they see each other. I think Thomas has like a sigh of relief when she walks down the aisle, and they both tell each other that they look good, their vows were funny, and most importantly, we got a kiss. None of that
Yes.
on the cheek. May I? No, you can't. I don't know you, but it
Right.
was great, and I'm just rooting for them.
Yeah. I think he did ask because I think she said yes, which is sweet.
Okay.
And I like that. I really wish that they had held hands or something, but I guess to your point, this is a normal reaction to have for somebody that you met 2 seconds ago and you just married. I think my only concern with Thomas is I need him to work on his resting bitch face because he looks so sad up there. And I'm just like, can you smile for 5 seconds? You were killing me, Smalls. But again, I can't imagine the level of nervousness that was going through him. But I just thought it was funny.
That is his face. To get used to it.
And there's two of them. There's a whole other one in the audience.
Oh, yes, there is. So that was it for our wedding. We get a second one, not complete,
wait.
but sorry.
Two things before you move on. So number one, I absolutely love that they jumped the broom because Camille in the matchmaking special talked about it was important for her to marry a black man. And so
yes.
I did love that they jumped the broom. I love that they had a black officiant who was a woman. But then an after party, apparently the officiant went off script and just started ad-libbing and started doing some stuff that she wasn't supposed to do, which we didn't see, but that cracks me up because that lady was like, I'm having my moment. I'm on TV. And then we cut her off.
She forgot that there was edit and she was taking pauses in the wrong places. But yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so Madison and Alan was the half wedding that we kind of got. And they exchanged gifts, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait, Thomas and Camille didn't have gifts, but in after party we found out that they did have gifts. They just didn't show them. So Alan sent Madison a box, and when she opened it, it was a banana.
That was actually pretty funny.
I keep wondering what my reaction would be, and I don't know. I feel like my nerves would be on 1,000, so if I saw a banana, I don't know what I would have thought.
I mean, it was a pretty big box, so there was a chance that it wasn't going to be just a banana. Like if it was a box of bananas, that would be strange. But I think it was a hint that this wasn't the only thing in there.
That's true. What did the card say again? Hope you find this appealing. Or
yes,
that. And then there was a Tiffany gift on there. Now, was I seeing wrong? But did Alan also have a Tiffany gift from her?
Whatever she gave him was in a Tiffany blue bag. I don't think it was a Tiffany bag, but it was that same Tiffany blue, but not a Tiffany bag, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, it did. Alan sheds more light and lets us know that the last time his parents saw each other was at his college graduation.
Yeah. Their divorce must have been bad.
Yes, that is a contentious relationship in all of that. We don't see them in the same room because Alan's dad is sitting there sipping on his drink as Alan is giving us this monologue about knowing what love is and all that. And his facial reactions were killing me. Alan's mom came later, which I have to think was timed afterwards because he met her at the elevator in the lobby. And she's all, my baby's leaving me. You're not going to be here. And he's like, Mom, don't think about it like that. Like, it's not that at all. So that was it on them. And then Madison is all excited. Madison is ready to get married. Her dad comes in. Her dad is like, listen, I'm handing you over to someone that I don't know and I don't trust yet. So it's kind of scary, but whatever is going on, I support you on what's happening. But my only question was, why did she need her dad and her brother-in-law to walk her down the aisle?
Again, she's got this very special relationship with her dad. So maybe she's got a similar thing to her brother-in-law that they're all really close. Because again, her mother's absence seems to be a big deal. So I don't know. And maybe we'll learn more if we see scenes from the wedding or when they do their meeting after
Yeah.
the wedding, when they sit down with the parents. I really kind of want, probably not in a great way, for her dad and his mom to maybe sit together at the reception and talk, because I feel like the two of them may need to lean on each other when they have this feeling of losing my child. I'm losing my child. Maybe you need somebody
Yeah.
to commiserate with. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's got a special relationship, because didn't Virginia have multiple people walking her down, or am I making that up?
I do not remember.
Yeah, I've seen people have multiple people, so it's not totally strange if they're super close. But yeah, her dad was, because my dad passed away in 2022, so all of this parent crying stuff, if I couldn't fast forward on the Lifetime app, but I really wanted
Yeah.
to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I get it. It's just that, like, for the multiple dads we've seen, because I think, like, with Amani, it's like a dad and a stepdad or something. But I feel like if her dad was there already, I don't know, no matter what the relationship with his brother-in-law is, like, I don't know, the dad should be sufficient, but I don't know. I don't. That's why I was curious. Like, what was that thing? Like, he has to be really close to her for her to want him to walk down the aisle. So,
Especially since he
yeah,
went down in suspenders and no jacket. I'm like, why are you here?
exactly. Well, I mean, do you have anything else to add from the episode?
I am holding my breath for these folks. They were smart to cut off this Madison Allen thing, because I will definitely be watching next week to see what her reaction is. But I feel pretty strongly that Carla and Juan are going to be fine.
Yeah.
I think that this had a good pace. Like, sometimes at the beginning, it's like, oh, this is taking too long. Let's get to it. So maybe they've heard the voices out on the internet, and Kinetic's going to move this stuff pretty quickly. But so far, I'm happy with the pace. I'm nervous. I'm excited. So it's a good start to the season.
Yeah, and the previews next week seem to indicate that all the rest of the weddings are going to happen. And if that's the case, I would like that. I would like us to just get past all the weddings and just start the honeymoon.
Yeah, well, we're going to have at least one episode with at the reception, and then the one where they meet the family at the brunch. So we've got at least one more episode, I'm thinking, before they go to the honeymoons.
That's true. Well, all in all, it was a good premiere. It's the same old song and dance. We get all hopeful, we get all excited, but we know that around the corner, it is waiting for us. But before we wrap the episode, Jen, who has your bouquet of the episode?
I mean, this is a no-brainer. My bouquet goes to Juan, hot Colombian man that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing on TV every week. That's for sure. Who has yours?
Mine goes to Camille and Timothy. They gave me all the feels. They had me cheesing. They had me rooting for them. I don't care if it's a lie. I would ride the wave temporarily, but it was just sweet. Who has your ashes?
It's a tie. It was a toss-up between Live, Laugh, Love Carla and Ruggish Allen. Something about those two. It's a tie between those two. I could not decide. Who has yours?
Mine just went to David, and I apologize. I have no reason. This is just me side-eyeing this man because I'm just getting bad vibes, and I have no facts yet, but I will come back to this when my facts materialize. And if they don't, I will come back and apologize. But David has my ashes.
Do you not like, I think I saw on the internet somewhere that his hair looks like a loofah. Is it the loofah hair that's bothering you?
No, I actually like the hair, funny enough. It's just I don't know, something about the authenticity. It's just, I don't like when people are 100% vibes. Like, have a little bit of structure.
No.
And
So
I'm
where
not
are you
getting that.
with Carla and her vibes?
Carla still has some, she's just putting it on, but she's not 100% vibes. Because even on After Party, she's like, I did the work, I did the thing, so yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thanks again, Jen, for coming by. You can find us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at AltarCall MAFS. That's ALTARCALL MAFS. Please give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It helps us a lot. And don't forget, you can listen to After Party on our Patreon. And we'll be back next week to continue this roller coaster of a ride that is MAFS. Bye, guys.